The shrimp boats dock at the end of the street on Bayou Lafourche.
My son bring me the seafood. He's a shrimper.
The name of this Cajun dining spot, Alzina's, has disappeared from the building. And Alzina's fresh herb garden grows in the back of her dad's decaying pickup truck.
I'm a sentimental person, but it's falling apart, so I'm gonna have to find someplace else to do my herb garden.
The wonderful aroma of tonight's dinner seeps through the metal walls of this welding shop turned Cajun kitchen.
We have okra gumbo, black eyed peas jambalaya, green bean, and they have the stuffed leg chicken, we have the pork tenderloin, and we have the baked shrimp.
It sounds like a Thanksgiving feast, but it's just dinner for 9 for a group of friends from New Orleans.
It's a pleasure. My name is Earl.
Thank you.
We've heard so much about you.
And I called up to get a reservation, and I was shocked when they said, well, we can see you in about 4.5 months.
We're real Cajun,
Well,
from real Cajun country.
got all of my best, my dearest, and said, we are going to Galliano. They said, where's that? I said, I don't know, but that is where we're going. We're going to see Miss Alzina, and we're going to have the meal of a lifetime.
Alzina has been cooking these private dinners for 35 years. She never wanted to turn her kitchen into a restaurant because she would have been unhappy.
Well, if you're bigger, you go commercial, and then the way of cooking change. I think you get greedy.
Miss Alzina does everything the old-fashioned way. There's no website, no email, no computer, no cell phone. She rarely touches the microwave. All of her business is word of mouth from people who have tasted her wonderful meals.
You have to cook the onion, I'm sure. I start the day before with the onion.
Cooking is a slow and delicate process. All of the ingredients are fresh, sliced and diced by hand, and simmered for hours. These are lessons she learned from her mother.
My family, they were a great cook, especially on my mother's side. I want to pass on my history, from my ancestor.
Alzina is now teaching those lessons to her granddaughter and her great-granddaughter, who both help in the kitchen.
She said when she goes to heaven that if she can get one wish while she's up there, it's going to be to not do the dishes anymore.
I taught my granddaughter the feeling and the touch of the bread. That's how you can tell. Like you would touch another person when you touch the bread.
Alzina cooks the way she speaks, with simple ingredients and a soft touch that clashes with the idea of spicy Cajun food.
They put too many ingredients in it. It overpowers their food, and you don't get the taste of it. Or they use sauce over all their food, and you don't get what you're tasting.
At age 85, Alzina Toups has no plans to slow down.
I have a passion for it. I really believe when the Lord wants me to stop, I'll know that day.
But until then, her patient, loving style of Cajun cooking will create satisfied smiles and empty plates at the dinner table. With the heart of Louisiana, Dave McNamara, Fox 8 News. Tucked away in a remote corner of southwest Louisiana farmland is a community cemetery, the East Cemetery. Here, generations of residents of Mermentau Cove have found their final resting place. In this peaceful setting, you find graves dating back more than a century, but you also find something you are unlikely to see anywhere else in Louisiana.
This is the biggest house we have left that's standing. The LeBlancs are in this one. There's a husband and wife.
It's a wooden grave house that, according to local custom, was built over a grave at the time of burial.
At one time, they probably had about 40 little houses here, but in the years, the storms and this has deteriorated. People didn't take care of them.
Leonard Smith has been caretaker of the East Cemetery for the past dozen years.
This is a nice one. They got a slate roof on it, and it's been here since 1935.
The grave structures are the size of a child's backyard playhouse, made out of cypress boards with a latching front door and side windows, just big enough to cover the burial vault. Years ago, there were dozens of these grave houses scattered in cemeteries all over Acadiana. Today, only a very few remain. And that's what makes these structures in the East Cemetery so important.
We replaced the door on this one.
Today, only 3 of the old grave houses remain, and they are believed to be the only ones left in Louisiana.
Well, I grew up thinking grave houses were something that appeared in cemeteries everywhere.
Jeremy Broussard's ancestors are buried here. A few years ago, he learned from an anthropologist that these grave houses are special.
This isn't something that happens everywhere. In fact, it happens almost nowhere.
Jeremy and a few friends created a film to document the rare structures and to raise awareness and money for their preservation. But they achieved something equally important, a federal listing on the National Register of Historic Places.
They immediately recognized that it has historical architectural significance.
But why were these grave houses built?
There are theories that it was rubbed off on the Acadians from a Native American tradition. There are theories that they were purely practical to protect the graves from animals or from the elements. There are theories that they were meant as shrines, and many of them did have icons and candles and shelves that held significant artifacts.
These are only theories, legends passed down from parents and grandparents. But it's a custom that may have new life, following the death of Leonard Smith's baby granddaughter.
I decided I was going to have her a little house made and put over her grave. So I had it all built out of cypress and put a couple of windows and a little door on it.
And there's talk among some of my parents, some people my parents' age, about having one built. And I get asked that question all the time, am I going to have a grave house? And I suppose I have to at this point, so.
The renewed interest may save a unique Cajun custom that perhaps adds a little touch of comfort as a life comes to an end. With the heart of Louisiana, Dave McNamara, Fox 8 News.